What's up guys, it's me Jeremy. August brought us the last champion roadmap of this year that is going to come out, and while it says that Riot's champion team have been focused more on visual game updates and less on new champions, and while all the visual game updates that we've seen have been great, we haven't had a new champion release since actually Pike in May. But worry not, we've got at least 2 more new champions confirmed to be releasing in the future. However, in usual Riot fashion, they haven't given us all that much, but that's okay. I've been kind of looking around the internet for hints with a little bit of theory crafting here and there as for what these champions are going to be like and what we might be able to expect. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like on it or let us know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe for some more videos. And let's jump right into it. Now, looking at the champion roadmap, it gives us very little about the actual release dates for the 2 new champions, but based on the timeline that is there, along with some words and quotes from Rioters, we can make a pretty confident guess as to when we can expect to see these new champions. So we just had the Nunu rework, and up next after Nunu's rework is confirmed to be the release of Ezreal's rework. In a Riot Dev Corner thread on the League of Legends forum, Riot Meddler mentioned that Ezreal's update will be before the next new champion, which is definitely a good indicator, and alongside this, Reef 3 mentioned that the Ezreal update won't happen until after patch 8.19, which is the patch that Worlds 2018 is going to be played on. So one of the new champions will be released at some point after patch 8.19 and significantly after the release of Ezreal, probably around patch 8.22 or 23, assuming that Ezreal is released on patch 8.20. But there are 2 new champions teased actually, so which one's coming first? Well, with some looking through Riot Reef 3's comments, he confirmed a player's theory that of the 2 options, there's one that is a colorful mage and one that will refer to as like the chained champion based on the pictures that Riot provided. So Riot Reef 3 confirmed a player's theory that the colorful mage is coming before the chained champion, and then Kayle and Morgana will be released after the colorful mage, and then the chained champion after Kayle and Morgana. So now we kind of have this full complete timeline with some ideas on the release of each of these new champions. But again, from what the roadmap tells us, we know somewhat little as to what these champions will actually be, besides one of them being a colorful mage with this image attached to it and kind of hinting at it, and one being a chained champion with this image being hinted at it and attached to it. So we've got to do a little bit of intense detective work to even get close to making some guesses as for these characters. Now, first let's focus on this colorful mage champion. It's been quite a while since we've had a new mage. The last one that we got was Zoe back in November of 2017, so it's definitely a welcome addition to the new League of Legends champion roster. Now, while a lot is kind of up in the air about this elusive champion, one thing that we do know for sure is which Rioters are currently working on the champion, because our old pal Riot Reef 3 gave us the answers. So Riot Soul Crushed, Foshizzle, and Skeksis are the team currently on the job. You might remember Riot Soul Crush for being responsible for the recent Galio and Aurelia reworks, but he's actually never had the task of creating a champion from scratch, so it's going to be super exciting to see if the champion will be more of a battle mage, artillery mage, or burst mage, and what he comes up with in terms of the gameplay. I personally think it might be somewhat of an artillery mage like Ziggs or Xerath, or perhaps somewhat of a bruiser mage. As a lot of the mages that we've seen recently have been kind of burst mages, I guess, we haven't seen a true artillery mage champion released since, I guess, probably Vel'Koz, and he was released all the way back in 2014. So I think an artillery mage is probably the most likely option, considering that Riot tries to sort of vary the types of champions they release over time. The teaser image for this colorful champion featured a bunch of colorful flowers on top of an unfamiliar insignia. Could this potentially be a new lore faction? And actually the case is it probably will be. According to Riot Reef 3, new factions and races are definitely on the table and could be very exciting. It would be super cool to see another race or faction in League, especially a new faction for sure. It could lead to far more expansion when it comes to the theming of champions, skins, and events, which could be really cool in the long run, and it seems like Riot are starting to kind of develop new themes to release content for. But if we're talking what the players are thinking, a lot of people think that it'll be an Ionian or Yordle champion, considering one of those hasn't really been released for all that long. One person on the League of Legends forums thinks this champion will be a particular character from the Garden of Forgetting, which is based on Ahri's story. This story features a character known as Ighilia, the Witch Gardener. The story describes the character as wrapped in colorful shawls. This colorful aspect, combined with the flowers, is actually a particularly good guess as for what this character might be. While this expansion of Ahri's lore was published in April of 2017, there have definitely been clues and hints of champion releases far prior to their official announcements. Some new champions have even created new lore for previous champions, like Rakan and Xayah expanding on Ahri's background. Ighilia certainly seems like a plausible choice for this colorful flower mage for sure, although I expect it would release probably with a different name, something that's maybe a little bit easier to pronounce. A colorful, super high range mage, flower mage kind of champion would definitely be something super cool to look forward to, and I'm definitely excited for that release. Now, while most of the details for the colorful mage champion seem fairly believable, I gotta say we know a little bit less about this chain champion, and it's not unreasonable considering the fact that it's probably not going to release for quite a few months. Besides the fact that it's just going to be released after the colorful mage, and the fact that it's well chained up, we're kind of picking at straws here. But just like our colorful mage, we do know at least one thing: who's working on the champion, and that is Squad 5, Kindle Jack, and John O'Dine are at the helm for our shackled friend as mentioned by Riot Reeve 3, in the same post that he revealed all that stuff on the mage champion. You might remember Riot Squad 5 from creating Ivern as well as Ornn, two super unique and exciting champions, so I gotta say I'm pretty stoked for this one. I kind of wonder what the chains have to do, because they could just be entirely a lore thing, or they could be a really significant part of the champion's kit, or both. To be fair though, I doubt they would mention it at all if it wasn't both though, so we're definitely expecting it to be pretty much the entire basis the kit is designed around. A chained up champion using their chains to attack, I gotta say, would be so cool. Definitely doesn't sound like a range champion though, that's for sure. Imagine maybe like a top lane bruiser using their chains to whip the enemy. Could definitely work and would be super cool to play, as there haven't been any champions like that in the game. Or alternatively, a support champion wrapping up enemies in chains and using it as a crowd control effect. No matter what, I gotta say the fact that the champion would be based around kind of chains and using them is gonna be an awesome concept for sure. The one teaser image that we got was pretty obscure. There definitely isn't a lot to go off of. A dark ornate room with some architecture. There's definitely a Demacian vibe about this room, I think. Not only this, but the long, thick gold chains definitely make me feel as if something incredibly powerful is locked away here. So it's kind of like a Demacian prisoner. That's probably my best guess as for the lore of this character. Something super big and strong, kind of this big beast type of character, maybe even Noxian like Scion. It seems reasonable to think that this would be an accurate theory. Now back to the thoughts that this could be a bruiser type champion, there's definitely a possibility that this new champion could fit that mold. Now, pre-rework Evelynn actually had hybrid scalings, of course, meaning that there was potential to build her in a more bruisery fashion at the time, as opposed to her intended AP assassin scaling path. But with the release of Evelynn's rework back in October of last year, those hybrid scalings were removed entirely. And Riot Reeve 3 has mentioned that it's totally possible that a new champion could be introduced to fill the role that old Evelynn left behind. So connecting the dots here, it's definitely a solid idea that this new champion could be a female jungle, top mid, hybrid kind of bruiser character. But although the idea of a support could be another possibility, we did just get the release of Pyke, so I wouldn't count on the new champion being a support anytime soon. Probably not for at least like a year or something. So far for my assumptions, our secret chain champion is a female hybrid bruiser. Now, one more thing that cements that really makes me feel like this champion is going to be a girl is from the teaser image from the roadmap. If you look closely in the background, you zoom in, you can see a pair of legs. People on the forums are thinking and talking that it's either someone in heels or someone with hooves, which is definitely interesting to think about and definitely leaves me with not only a lot of hope that this new champion is going to be really cool, but also a lot of questions and the likely reality that this champion is either a girl or kind of like centaur beast thingy. Either way, I really hope that both these insanely cryptic teasers lead to us getting some really fun and interesting champions. It's definitely going to be really cool to see how these play out. Either way, these are just kind of some theories and guesses as for what these new champions are going to be. Definitely let me know in the comments below what you think these champions are going to turn out like in the future. It's definitely going to be great to see what you think in the comments, and maybe check out some of our other videos if you enjoyed this one. Either way, it looks like that's going to be it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and a dislike if you didn't. Subscribe if you want, and I'll see you guys next time.